Hello guys and welcome to Employ Your Mind. You might have heard somebody or even yourself at some point saying things like, I don't have much money, or I'm not getting the results I was hoping to get. You might think of these as problems, but what if I tell you they're not problems, but symptoms of what's going on inside you? On this video we will talk about the quadrants of life and how they affect you on your daily life. Let's get to it. Take a look at this tree and imagine it is the tree of life, of your life. As you can see, there are fruits on it. In life, the fruits from our tree are our results and achievements, but sometimes we look at those fruits and we don't like them, whether it's because they're bitter or small or they're simply not enough. So, what happens when we try to change a result that we are not satisfied with, the fruits from our life tree? We focus even more on the fruits, and normally this is what most of the people will do. When most people want to change their life, they focus on the fruits, when they should be focusing on the roots, because that is the real key to make any changes in your life. At this point you might be thinking, okay, I know the roots of a tree and where they are, but where are the roots of my life? The roots of your life can be explained in 4 quadrants. First, we have the mental realm. As you can imagine, this represents everything that goes through our minds. From the programming we've gone through growing up from our teachers, family, friends, to our personal experiences and how they have affected our behavior. Secondly, we have the emotional realm. This one represents how we feel at any given moment. What's our mood like? Do we feel happy or sad? Are we mentally healthy or do we feel depressed? All these feelings that you go through affect your decisions and your life in general. Thirdly, we have the spiritual realm. Almost everybody has grown up in the environment of a religion, and even if you're not a very religious person, the different religions in the world also affect you and your relationship with people, life, money. We must be aware of the ideas that are transmitted to us through our religion. Now, all these 3 quadrants or realms, the mental, emotional, and spiritual, are ethereal. They cannot be measured. They are your roots, because these 3 realms manifest themselves in the physical world, the world in which the fruits, your results, are produced. To better explain this concept, I would like to use the following example. Imagine you're writing something on your computer, anything at all. When you finish, you would like to print this document, bring it into the physical world on a piece of paper. Once it is printed, you analyze the document and you realize that there's a typo on it. Oh, come on, everybody knows that quadrants is spelled with a Q instead of a C. So what do? You go to the piece of paper and change that C for a Q. Good. Now the issue is fixed. But you print another copy of your document and it has the same typo on it. No problem. You grab your marker and change that C for a Q again. Okay, now the issue is fixed. So you go and print the document again. But to your surprise, you find that typo again. So you make the change again, but as you keep printing, you realize that every single copy of the document has the same mistake on it, over and over and over again. And it is at this moment when you realize that if you really want to fix the issue, you have to edit the typo in the computer first. Using this metaphor, I want to show you guys that the piece of paper is a physical world, and the computer is a mental, spiritual, and emotional realm. It doesn't matter how many times you make changes and corrections on the piece of paper. Nothing will really change until you make that change on the computer first. Now, knowing this, you must still be wondering how these 4 quadrants manifest in real life. I am sure that if you go and ask people what it is that they would like to have, most of them would tell you things that can be linked to having more money or having a better life. But let me tell you from a personal experience that at the end of the day, it is us that sabotage ourselves and stop us from having a better life. To better explain this, I would like to, use another example. This here is David. David was going through a difficult time in his life. He called a friend and told him that he just got fired from his job, a place he had worked at for the last 10 years. Because of his age and the lack of job offers on his sector, he was finding it really hard to get a new job. To make things even worse, his mother had passed a few weeks back. When he called his friend, he was desperate, and the situation called for it, no doubt. David always had a worker mentality. good saving habits, and through a lot of sacrifice and hard work, and by sacrifice I mean cutting down on many expenses like going out or going on a holiday, David bought himself a house in a good neighborhood in his city. This property, thanks again to a lot of hard work and sacrifice, was almost paid for and had a small mortgage left on it. After his mother passed, since he was an only child, his mother left him a house on the same neighborhood and also paid for it. David had acquired a mentality of working hard and sacrificing to get things from his parents. And he was struggling now, seeing that, on top of his work situation, he had added a new problem with his mother's house, having to face the upkeep of two houses without having a job. So his friend told him, "Don't worry, David, both houses are paid for, right? Good. What you're gonna do now is rent out both houses, which will get you an income of about $2,000. With that kind of money, you can find a flat in a cheaper area, or even better yet, why not moving in with your girlfriend and share expenses? You can very well live off the money you get from renting your houses." Looks like an easy plan, right? Do you guys know what David said? "I can't afford not doing anything." It seemed like the perfect plan. He has two houses, he rents them out, and he lives off of the income generated by the properties. But he didn't see it that way. He thought that was being lazy. How is that possible? David was completely under the control of the mental quadrant. For many years, he had been subjected to a certain programming or vision about money. He couldn't conceive any other way to make money that wasn't having a job, working his hours with a boss telling him what to do. Anything different from that was just being lazy. He had the opportunity to generate a passive income, to have a better and more comfortable life, but his mental quadrant stopped him from doing that. But hey, David played the lottery and gambled in sports, which means that, deep down, he wanted that kind of change in his life. David, like most people on the planet, lives in a prison, caged and with chains. But those chains are chains that you and the society have created and that you put on yourself. Those are the chains of the mental, emotional, and the spiritual realms. They are bars and chains that you, your friends, your family, your experiences have created. And the irony of all this is that all those thoughts and advice that you've grown up listening to and that you have been high-right on, they were all for your own good, or at least what they thought was for your own good. And that is the saddest part of it all. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, right? I want you guys to analyze your quadrants of life and how the mental, emotional, and spiritual realms are affecting your physical world. How the roots of your life are affecting the results and fruits you are getting. Go through the advice you've been given and grown up listening to, and how you've been educated towards things like money, ambition, and setting goals for yourself. Also, think about how your religion has taught you about these concepts, with sayings like, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God." Those kind of sayings are bad for you and your relationship with money, so I want you guys to remove them from your head. Also, I would like you guys to analyze if you're happy or sad, and if you are sad, think about what this might be. Is being sad the reason and what stops you from reaching your goals, or are you sad because you can't achieve your goals? I think it is the latter. Most of the time, not achieving our goals is the main reason for our sadness, and for what I would like to recommend you guys to check out my video on the Kaizen method, in which I explain this Japanese system to help you guys set and reach your goals. Lastly, I want you guys to take a look at your physical world, your goals, your dreams, and think about why you're not achieving them. Analyzing the other three quadrants, you will see that they are strongly linked to why, and the last step is break your chains. Get rid of everything that is stopping you from living the life you would like to live and from being happy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, recommend it to a friend. And if you would like to watch more similar videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, employ your mind, and activate the notification bell to not miss any new videos. Also, don't be shy and leave a comment. I would love to read anything you guys have to say. Thank you, and I will see you on the next video.